Hello students, today's class we will be discussing about the major glands, their hormonal secretions. In case that particular hormone is secreted in more quantity, then what problems we may face, and if that particular hormone is secreted in more quantity, then what problems we may face, and the basic feedback mechanism that our body has developed in order to control the quantity and timing of secretion, means when to secrete, when not to secrete, and in how much quantity a particular hormone has to be secreted. Such things will be discussed today in briefly, and the level of concepts that I will be talking to you will be for 8th standard, so that this may match with their syllabus. So we will directly begin with the glands today, and what are the major glands, that part we will be talking about. So first we will start with pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. If we talk about this gland, then this is an extension of hypothalamus, and it is the equal to the size of a pea seed, means it is very small. It is about the size of a pea seed, and it has 3 lobes. If I say one part is anterior lobe, or this is front part. Suppose if I am standing, then this portion will be called anterior, and this portion will be called posterior. This is what we have to understand here. So this lobe will be called posterior lobe, or it is hind lobe, behind lobe, and this is intermediate lobe, and these 3 lobes, they have got specific functions, because they secrete some particular hormones. In short, we will be talking about as per the syllabus it is given. So let us understand first anterior lobe, and then we will be talking about posterior lobe. Anterior lobe, mainly we will discuss about growth hormone which it secretes, and posterior lobe we will be talking about oxytocin and ADH. Intermediate lobe you may study in higher classes. Here we will not be discussing about that, how it is associated with various functions. So let us talk briefly about growth hormones secreted by anterior lobe. Growth hormone, or it is also called somatotropin, because it stimulates the body tissues for having proportionate growth. Proportionate growth has to be understood clearly, that relevant to the size of other parts, growth has to be proportionate, so that we look normal, our body parts doesn't look somewhat deformed or any one particular part having unwanted growth and the other part having retarded or slowed down growth. So this may lead to a situation where we may not look normal and we may not develop good personality. So here, growth hormone, it causes proportionate growth of our body parts. Now, in case this growth hormone may have two conditions. If it is hyposecretion, if there is hyposecretion of growth hormone in childhood, then that person or that child may not have proper growth and he will suffer with a defect, and that defect is called dwarfism. In Hindi we call it baunapan. The child will look like a very short fellow, fit for working in a circus. There is another condition, that is hypersecretion of GH, and in childhood, then that child may grow to such a height that you will call him a giant person. So that defect is called gigantism, very tall than usual, than normal. Okay, there can be another issue. If there is hypersecretion in adult, hypersecretion of growth hormone in an adult, the person has fully grown up but still there is overgrowth due to continued secretion of growth hormone, then in that case the child that adult person will be called to be suffering with acromegaly. That defect is called acromegaly. So these are the basic things you have to learn about growth hormone. Okay, now we'll be talking about hormones secreted by posterior lobe. Okay. Hormones from posterior lobe. Posterior lobe of pituitary. We will study two hormones. First one, we will study oxytocin. This hormone is very important in the life of a woman giving birth to a child. Okay, oxytocin, what is its role? You must have heard that when a When pregnancy is completed, the child has fully developed in the uterus, and child sends a signal to mother's body, or let us say to the pituitary gland. Oxytocin is released, and when oxytocin is released, there is labor pain, and that pain continues to be there till the child is born, and this has to continue. And this kind of feedback mechanism in endocrine system we call negative feedback and mechanism, where it is not possible to reverse. Once it has started, means it will execute and get it completed, uh, then it is possible to stop its secretion. So oxytocin, we can say, causes reverse uterine contraction, leading to the birth of child. Okay. Second one is ADH. This is diuretic hormone. It is also called vasopressin. This hormone has two aspects, and this hormone is it regulates or maintains water balance in blood. Okay. Here, how it maintains, I will be talking to you briefly. There can be two cases. First case, let us say blood has enough water. Blood has enough water, and in kidney we have nephrons, and these nephrons, they are filtering the blood, and once the ultrafiltration has taken place, the required quantity of water is generally reabsorbed. So if the blood has enough water, then this ADH production will get stopped, such that water is not reabsorbed. As a result, urine output is increased. Or we can say less concentrated urine. Less concentrated urine will be secreted. Water is not required extra. Your body has, let us say, enough water, then reabsorption will not occur, and all the unrequired amount of water that you have in your body will be removed out in the form of urine. Now, there could be second case. Let us say your blood does not have do not have enough water. In that case, how ADH is useful to control the loss of blood through urine. Now what happens? Signal will be sent. Now ADH secretion increases. ADH secretion increases. And once its secretion has increased, then the reabsorption of water in kidney tubules, we will say, छोटा छोटा ट्यूब होता है, so kidney tubules increases. So as a result, what happens? Already it is reabsorbed, and the blood maintains its own concentration level of water. So as a result, urine output decreases and is concentrated. Means you will have concentrated urine and urine output will get reduced. And this you must have observed in summer season when you don't have enough water in your body, and let me say you are traveling to a place, walking for a long distance, and your body is not having enough water, or you have not drunk enough water. In that situation, our kidney regulates the amount of water by reducing the loss of water through urine by reabsorbing it and keeping it in the body itself. So these are the basic functions that we have of pituitary gland relevant to your syllabus up to class 8. And now we will be talking about thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. You will find that if this is larynx, then below larynx you have butterfly shaped gland. This is voice box or larynx. We call it voice box. Just below that you will find that butterfly shaped thyroid. Below you can see windpipe. Okay, and these are parat hormone, parathyroid. Okay, let's understand. That was about location, that where our thyroid gland is located. You can see Adam's apple here, and just below this you will find thyroid gland. Thyroid gland secretes some major hormones. One category of hormone is called thyroxine, and this thyroxine has some major functions. Regulates basic metabolism, of our body. Means it has several meaning. It has got like proper mental development. You may have mental growth. You may have proper physiological growth, physiological development, then growth of bones and other parts of our body. That's why you must have heard in advertisements when you see in television, you find that we should take iodized salt. Why they had asked us to take iodized salt? Because you have to understand that for the formation of thyroxine, what is required? Iodine is required, and therefore we should take what? Iodized salt or seafoods which contain iodine. Such things should be taken. Okay. Now, there can be some defects, such things we will be talking, that if thyroxine is produced in low quantity, means it is hypo means less, hypothyroidism, and another one is hyperthyroidism. It means it is secreted more than required. Hyperthyroidism. So when there is hyposecretion, under secretion, you will have swelling in your neck. We call simple goiter. Simple goiter. And what is the symptom over here? You will find that there will be swelling in neck region. And this hyperthyroidism means there is oversecretion. In that case, you will find exophthalmic goiter, exophthalmic goiter. Okay. If you break this term, X means out, ophthalmic means eyes. So in this case, you will find that the person has protruding eyes. Protruding eyes. Eyes will be very large in size, coming outward. When you see, you may imagine that the person has really come from some graves. Such is the case in this exophthalmic goiter. And very high appetite. The person may eat, but still never get satisfied. So that is the case. Excessive basic metabolism rate is there. So that is the problem they face. So this is about thyroid gland, and there is another gland associated with thyroid gland, that is parathyroid gland. Very short, we will be talking about this. The small dots in the diagram when I had drawn, I showed you that there are four dots and they represent parathyroid gland. So these glands, they secrete a hormone. Hormone secreted is parat hormone. PARAT HORMONE. That is parat hormone. What are the functions it has got? First one, it regulates calcium level in blood. Regulates calcium level in blood. Another function that it performs is it regulates phosphorus level. And phosphorus metabolism means use of phosphorus by our body for the development of bones. So, in case parathyroid gland faces difficulty in performing or executing its proper function, in that situation, you may suffer with parat hormone symptoms. Level of calcium may not be maintained in the body, so may have improper development of bones, and likewise even phosphorus is useful. Now, these are the short topics, so now we'll be talking about adrenal gland. Adrenal gland or glands, let us write, because in each kidney on top you will find ad means sata hua, attached, and renal means kidney. So this is called adrenal gland, and this one is what? Kidney. These are attached to kidney, so they are called adrenal gland. And if you take a section of these, a sectional view, a section of adrenal gland, there you will find that it has two basic regions. We are not going for further division of adrenal gland, basically the cortex region, and we will be just dividing it into two regions. So outer one is called adrenal cortex, and inner part is called adrenal medulla. These parts have got a specific functions because they secrete a specific hormones. Let us study the hormones that they secrete. First one, we will be talking about adrenal cortex. This gland, basically they secrete corticoids. Categories of hormones, and there are two categories, two corticoids. One is mineralocorticoids, and these mineralocorticoids basically they maintain sodium and potassium level in blood. That is their main function. And another category of corticoid is glucocorticoids. As the name suggests, so they will regulate metabolism of body is maintained by glucocorticoids and balances sodium and potassium ions in our blood by mineralocorticoids secreted by adrenal cortex. Okay, we have a important hormone secreted by adrenal medulla. So adrenal medulla secretes a hormone called adrenaline, and this hormone is also called a stress hormone. This hormone is called a stress hormone because it helps to fight you with three different situations. That is, first of all, when you see some situation, a new situation where you face a little difficulty, for example, you understand you see a ferocious animal coming towards you, immediately what develops in your body? Fear. So it helps to fight fear. But if you are unable to run away, then you will try to fight. But still, if you find some way to escape from there, then you have an option, that is flight. That's why adrenal medulla, this adrenaline hormone, we say it helps to fight three Fs, that is fear, fight and flight. So these are the functions of adrenal medulla. Okay. Now we will be studying about pancreas. We will study about pancreas. If you try to understand its location from this figure, you will come to know that okay. So this one is stomach. You can imagine, I will just saw this part. I may not label other parts. So this one is pancreas. Okay. Now, this pancreas has got specific function. Pancreas is the gland which is both exocrine as well as endocrine gland. Means we can call it endoexocrine gland. As an exocrine gland, it secretes, okay, there is a special term given here, ducts of echinine. So as an exocrine gland, it has ducts of echinine. And these ducts of echinine, they secrete pancreatic juice. They secrete pancreatic juice. But here we are not going to discuss about pancreatic juice. We will be talking as an endocrine gland. They have a special group of cells called islets of Langerhans, and these are a group of cells. Islets of Langerhans are a group of cells, and these are three categories: alpha, beta, and delta. And they have got a specific functions also that we will be talking about now. Okay, so first one, we will start with the beta cells. You may ask that why I have to start with beta cell, why not with alpha cells? That is just my problem. You can say that I have learned this way so that I can remember easily that beta cells, they secrete insulin. They secrete insulin, and this insulin stimulates cells to convert glucose into glycogen. So what will be the result? Sugar level in blood, sugar level in blood decreases, and to become normal, to be normal. We are not telling that we are going to decrease so that we may suffer with insulin stop. Now, so this can prevent the occurrence of diabetes mellitus or blood sugar. That is alpha cells, and they secrete a hormone called glucagon. Glucagon. This glucagon converts or stimulates to convert. Stimulates to, because they themselves are not involved in conversion of glycogen into glucose, rather they stimulate the cells, let us say liver cells, to convert glycogen into glucose when required, or a person is starving, having less energy level in his blood, glucose. So stimulates to convert glycogen into glucose. So this is during starving. So if I show you diagrammatically, then you will understand. Glucose has to get converted into glycogen, and this work is carried out with the help of an enzyme, hormone insulin. And here we have another hormone involved in the reconversion of glycogen into glucose, that is glucagon. Okay. Now we will understand very brief that if insulin is not secreted in proper amount, then in that case, the person will suffer with diabetes mellitus. That disease is called diabetes mellitus, or simply we call blood sugar. When that person is suffering with a problem of having extra blood sugar. Okay, now second part of this now third type of cells we have, that is delta cells, and these cells they secrete somatostatin. This is also important hormone. What role it has got? It checks or inhibits the secretions of insulin and glucagon. Their secretion is controlled and regulated by somatostatin, because when enough insulin has been secreted, it has to be stopped. So this will be sensed and stopped by somatostatin secreted by delta cells of islets of Langerhans found in the endocrine part of pancreas. Okay. Now there is an important mechanism that we have associated in our body. So that is feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism of hormonal secretion. How it maintains status. So you can see that for this to understand, you will understand that our body has a mechanism to regulate the quantity and timing of secretion. Means there can be situation like if there is low, then signal will be speed up. If there is high, then slow down. This can be just an idea to make you understand that if there is a low functioning or low secretion of anything, then in that sense some hormone assisting them has to be increased. So that is speed up. And in case that hormone is enough in the blood, not required, then it is slowed down or stopped. This is the feedback mechanism that we have, but based on this we will take an example to make it very clear that how feedback works. So let me tell you, feedback mechanism of insulin and glucagon secretion. Feedback mechanism of insulin or glucagon secretion. How it is regulated, let us understand. Imagine that this diagram is of a liver, and another one, let's imagine that this diagram is of pancreas. I will not mention here, it is clear that it is pancreas, and this is liver. Let us see. If there is high blood sugar, now which cell that's of islets of Langerhans has to be activated. So now if there is high, then alpha cells has to be activated, alpha cells, and these alpha cells, I will make it very simple: glucose, glycogen. So in this situation, glucose has to be converted into glycogen. Try to understand here. When there is high blood sugar, means sugar is more in the blood, then signal will be sent to alpha cells. Sorry, it is beta cells actually. Beta cells of pancreas. This will induce the secretion of insulin. This will induce the secretion of insulin, and the insulin secreted will stimulate the liver cells to convert glucose into glycogen. For that, they could be stored either in the liver or in the muscle cells of our body, muscle tissues. Now, there could be another situation that you have to imagine. Let us say low blood sugar. There is low blood sugar. There are two situations: high blood sugar and low blood sugar. There could be two situations. So let us say blood sugar is low. In this situation, what happens? Now, here I could have mentioned, to make it better, beta cells. Now, alpha cells will get activated, and they will act by secreting glucagon, and this will convert glycogen into glucose. So when do we suffer with this? Suppose you have been starving, there is very low blood sugar, but your body cells, the muscles has got glycogen. So that glycogen will be converted into glucose. But how? The low blood sugar itself will send signal to the alpha cells of pancreas to secrete glucagon, and this glucagon will stimulate the liver cells to convert glycogen into glucose, so that blood sugar level comes to normal from under level of blood sugar. This is how sugar is balanced in our body. But in case if it fails and blood sugar rises in the blood, we call diabetes mellitus, And in case blood sugar is very very low in the blood, we use another term that you have to understand, that is diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus, and this defect is called low blood sugar. Sometimes overdose of insulin may also result into this, and such situation is called insulin shock, lack of insulin. Okay, there are two more glands we will be talking in short, that is testis and ovaries. Okay, so we'll be talking about another gland, testis. Testis, you must be knowing that oval in shape. Epididymis is there, then this is vast difference. This one is testis. And let me tell you internally how it is divided. Internally you will find locules, sac-like structures, and in this sac-like structure you will find tubules. You will find tubules, and these tubules are called sperm producing tubules, seminiferous tubules. And around this seminiferous tubule in the locules we have some interstitial cells, means in between the seminiferous tubules and the locule, that space has got special cells called interstitial cells, and these are called Leydig cells. So we are talking about these cells, Leydig cells. What is their function? They only secrete testosterone, and this testosterone hormone has got certain functions. We can say that they are involved in development of male features. Male features means like when a boy attains his puberty around 12-13 years of age, you will find that he appears to be a male. How? You must have seen growth of mustache, growth of beards. He is attracted towards girls and develops a sense of emotions and awareness, consciousness within himself. Enlargement of penis, secretions of production of sperm cells, erection of penis. These are some of the things, the changes that we find in case of boys. Muscular body, shoulder grows, voice will crack, low pitch voice. These are some of the changes that we observe in case of boys, and this is because of the hormone testosterone. And this testosterone is secreted by Leydig cells, they are also called interstitial cells, found between the space of seminiferous tubules inside the locules of testes. Okay, now we will be talking about ovaries, that is relevant to female. So ovaries, if you see, you just imagine that this is uterus, this one is uterus. People call it womb, where the child develops after fertilization. Fallopian tube will be there, having fimbriae, then ovary, and it is attached. So here we have ovary. This is ovary. I have drawn here a rough diagram to just make you understand that where is ovary located. So ovary secretes two hormones. It secretes two hormones. One is estrogen. Estrogen is associated with development of female characters, female features. So you must be knowing, like female features, when a girl attains 10 years of her age or 11 years of her age, a little earlier than boys, you will find development of breast, you will find development of genitalia, you will find growth of pubic hair around underarms and in the reproductive areas, reproductive parts, organs, and you will find broadening of hip, skin will turn to be oily, fatty, and thighs will develop fats, and butts will also develop fats. These are some of the changes, and also you will find that they also develop a little attraction towards their opposite sex, that is for boys. They also become self-conscious, emotional, and these are some of the features that develops in a girl child after attaining 10 years of her age or attaining puberty. So these are associated, helped by a hormone called oxytocin. There is another hormone which is released by ovary, that is called progesterone, and this hormone is involved in regulation of pregnancy. Means once the egg is fertilized by sperm cell and it has to develop further, then progesterone hormone is involved in further development of all the features required so that the fertilized egg called zygote can develop further into an embryo and lead to the further process of gestation period or pregnancy, so that the child completely develops in the mother's womb. So these are the basic things that we have in class 8 biology, and other things related to adolescence and related topics we will be discussing afterwards. So I hope you have understood the major glands that are there in syllabus. Thank you for watching my video, and okay, bye bye.